First thing I have to do is spell that my voice holds out. It's a geweldige simcha and a chizuk for me. It's always a simcha and a chizuk whenever I'm in my hometown in Detroit. But when I see every year how the city is growing, Baruch Hashem, and we hear how the city is growing, and we see right now how the city is growing, it's a geweldige simcha. Let me tell you over a machshava that I've been thinking about for a long time. Actually quite a few years, but we're developing as we go along. When we do many times when we do a mitzvah, we say Tayag mitzvah satluyim bo. So it seems like all the mitzvahs of the Torah atluyim zeh bo zeh. Every mitzvah is totally in the other mitzvahs. All the mitzvahs is Tayag mitzvahs atluyim bo. Because the whole Torah is one. Torah is achas. And all the mitzvahs in the Torah are intertwined and connected to each other. I'm always nispoil. Comes out many times to speak a bris. Amalek Yorn used to have a problem. There's a lot of bris on what to say. But after I discovered the Sefer Oilos Ephraim, no more problems. Oilos Ephraim is the Kli Yoker. So Kli Yoker wrote the Sefer Oilos Ephraim. So he has on every single parsha in the Torah about bris milah. So whenever parsha comes out, you take a look at Oilos Ephraim. You have plenty of drushes. So sometimes I'm spoiled. Kol HaTorah Kula is milah. The ganze Torah, if you look at the Oilos Ephraim, it sounds like Kol HaTorah Kula is bris milah. V'yashloim ha'enoch enami. Enoch enami. Kol HaTorah Kula is bris milah. And Kol HaTorah Kula is every other mitzvah. The Tayag mitzvahs atluyim bo. Once originally had the machshava was nicht reingedacht. My father was nifter. During the Avelis, we thought of the question. I spoke about it. The Yisroel Menachem. You know, an oval is also in Divrei Torah, and Tisha B'Av also in Divrei Torah, because Divrei Torah is Misameach. An oval is also in Divrei Torah, but he's allowed to learn a lot of things. He's allowed to learn things that are not Mesamchim. He's allowed to learn. So I was wondering, does an oval have a chiyuv Talmud Torah, or he has a heter Talmud Torah? Does he have a chiyuv to learn the things that's not Mesameach, or it's only a heter? So afterwards we checked, we found that it's a machlekes in the Achrayim in the place. It seems to be a machlekes. Some people seem to say that it's a heter, and some people seem to say you have a chiyuv. Abidecha Pasha should be a chiyuv. Kern is a chiyuv, Yikisu Yom Halayla. So it's a chiyuv limud Torah constantly. And Talmud Torah Kineged Kulam, and Bittul Torah is Kineged Kulam. So why in the world should you say, when a person is an Olach Manu Litzlon, that he shouldn't have a chiyuv Talmud Torah to learn a big chelik of the Torah, which he's allowed to learn? So I once decided one of two terutzim on that question. One thing I decided that the answer is that Torah has to be learned with simcha. Torah muzayin with simcha. Without simcha, it's not real Torah. Torah muzayin with simcha. If you're going to learn Torah without simcha, it's not can emes Torah. So you can't make a chiyuv on somebody is mechuyev to learn Torah davka without simcha. It's can't sein as a chiyuv. The most you could say as a heter, of kechiyuv, to learn the Torah on Simcha can't be such a... And then we once decided that shots like this. I'll be Maral and Guraya in Shmois, and Rashi in the beginning of the Seres HaDibros, so Rashi says that when the Benjamin says Dvorim Eila, so call Seres HaDibros, everything was said in one word. Kol HaTorah Kula. Everything he said at Bavasachas. All the Gans, all Aser Rashi brings down. All the Seres HaDibros was said Bavasachas. But afterwards, then it began the Benjamin spoke out each one separately. But like Atchila, Kol HaTorah Kula was said Bavasachas. So he stayed in Rashi. Right in the beginning of Seres HaDibros, stayed in Rashi. That Kol, the Benjamin said, all the Seres HaDibros Bavasachas. Now, Vasachas is a thing that's impossible to hear. You can't understand one word. If everything was said with Vasachas, what's the purpose? So Maral says in Guraye and that Rashi, Zak Maral, because the Ben Shalom wanted to show them that Kol HaTorah Kula is Ein Zach. It's Achas. The whole Torah is one. Kol HaTorah Kula is one unit. The intervention spoke out the prototype, but Kol HaTorah Kula is Achas. At the Echad, the Shim Echad. We can't say Echad was, but Torah is also Achas. Torah is all one unit. The Mela is not Shaykh, so we're thinking of Pshat is it's not Shaykh to be Mechayev somebody to learn Torah unless you can tell them you can learn Kol HaTorah Kula. Well, it's ein Zach. It's ein Zach. You can't tell them you can learn only one Masechta and not the other Masechta. You're only allowed to learn Bava Kama, but you're not allowed to learn Zvachim. Doesn't need Torah. Doesn't need Torah. You can only learn Moed Cotton, but you can't learn Bava Metzia. Doesn't need Torah. Torah is Achas. It was one unit of Torah. Person has to be able to learn Kol HaTorah Kula. If you can learn Kol HaTorah Kula, das ist gelernt. Eben nicht shaykh a chiyuv Talmud Torah. If chiyuv Talmud Torah can only be on somebody that could possibly learn everything in Torah. But this concept that Kol HaTorah Kula is Achas, same thing as all of mitzvahs is Achas. Every single mitzvah is Taryag mitzvahs atluim. Every single mitzvah has it me'ain every other mitzvah. And if you learn every mitzvah in the Torah, so it has the protis dika chiyuvim, protis dika dinim, and that specific mitzvah, but it's also limudim klolim, and it's limudim klolim and Kol HaTorah Kula, and limudim for a person for his whole life. And every single mitzvah, besides the protedinim from the mitzvah, the details of the mitzvah, specifically for that mitzvah is limudim for everything else, and the ganze level for that mitzvah. Sometimes we say over from Rav Yitzchak Bloch, that tells the Rav that he said that in many places that the Torah emphasizes one prat in this mitzvah is b'chinas ma'akev, b'chinas chiyuv, but that's a limit for Kol HaTorah Kula. So he gives many examples. So I'll give him one example that he gave was Negei Lulav. Rashi in the beginning of Lulav HaGozel, when it says Lulav HaYovesh is Posel, in Rashi, the Psul Yovesh is Hodor. The Psul Yovesh is Zeh Kelim Anveyo, steht in Rashi. What's the Psul Yovesh? Svelten Zeh Kelim Anveyo. So Teis, beginning of Lulav HaGozel, says it's not right. Zeh Kelim Anveyo is not Makev. It's only a Lachatchila, it's not Makev in the Here it's a psul hodor. It's a special psul hodor. What's Rashi telling you? A psul was a kedev anveyos, a kedev anveyos nikemaket. So different things said on that. But Rav Yitzchak is going to said on that hodor and zeh kedev anveyo hodor is the same parsha. It's the same parsha. Hodor is zeh kedev anveyo. But in one mitzvah in the Torah took this prat of zeh kedev anveyo and made it that should be a ikir ma'akiv in the mitzvah. And hodor is a ma'akiv in the mitzvah. But hodor and zeh kedev anveyo is the same thing. Zeh kedev anveyo is kol haTorah kula is an inyan from zeh kedev anveyo. But kol haTorah kula it's not a ma'akiv. But in one mitzvah the Torah made that this should be a main point, a ikir point in the mitzvah, and here the Torah made that it should be ma'akiv in the mitzvah. That's the same parsha. It's a limud kol haTorah kula in zeh kedev anveyo. We have a mitzvah right now. We have mitzvah sukkah. So sukkah is for 1 week during the year. There's a mitzvah sukkah for 1 week, and the mitzvah has many machshavas in it. And the machshava is that the person should go out of his diras keva, and he should go into diras arai. He should go out of diras arai. Should realize and not be that the world is only a roizdik. It's not a limud only for 1 week. It's a limud for the whole life of a person. This 1 week has limudim. This 1 week has a limud for the whole year. It's a limud for the whole life of a person. A person should not be machshiv his diras keva. He should know that the ganze Welt is only a roizdik, and the whole world is only arai. It's only temporary, just like the sukkah is temporary. So it's not only this week is temporary. Person should learn from there that his whole life is temporary. The ganze Leben is no hayazdik, and the person is the biggest schus for a person that he should be enveloped by the sukkah, enveloped by the shechina. So this 1 week, this inyan sukkah, the inyanim from sukkah, the concept for sukkah, the limudim from sukkah is not a limud for only sukkah. It's a limud for the ganze Leben, the whole life of a person. Give a few more mashalim. By matzah, it says a pasuk, ushmar in Shmois, when the first matzah was given, it says a mitzvah, ushmartem es hamatzos. Ushmartem es hamatzos. It's a mitzvah for shmiras hamatzos. That when you bake matzahs or when you knead the dough, everything should be done with shmira. Everything should be done bizrizus. Everything should be done bizrizus. So it's a special mitzvah. The zrizus is a special mitzvah of ma'akiv in matzah. But it's not only a matzah, it's a limud for kol haTorah kula. It's a limud for kol haTorah kula you have to do with zrizus. That's mefurish in the Tanoim, mefurish in the Mechilta. Mechilta says, Rabbi Yosha Omer, al tikri matzos ela mitzvos. Al tikri matzos ela mitzvos. Kederach shein machmitzin es ha-matzos, kach ein machmitzin es ha-mitzvos. Ela kol mitzvos sheboli yodcho aseh so miyad. So like we know, whenever it says al tikri, what does it mean? He's changing taka the kriya. Al tikri means he's changing that it's a mitzvah, it's a chiyuv gomer from shmiras hamatzos. He's not changing the pshat. He doesn't mean to change the pshat. Rabbi Yeshua Zatana doesn't mean to change the pshat. But it is a chiyuv shmartem es hamatzos. Chiyuv gomer shmiras hamatzos. It's ma'akev in matzos mitzvah is a ma'akev in shmira. But al tikri, it's a limud from danet kol haTorah kula. Al tikri means from danet is a limud al kol haTorah kula. Here the Torah said zrizus, the peidah the zrizus and machmitzin es hamatzos. Das am Akev in Mitzvahs Matzah. But who adin, Kol Ater Kula, as Shmatem as a Mitzvahs. Kol Ater Kula should be with Shmira. Kol Ater Kula should be with Zrizus. Let's give another mashal. Usually we find when you find even a syog is not true mishmeres and mishmeres. A syog is all the takonas the Rabbana. The Rabbana made syogim on mitzvahs, made syogim on isurim. It's also the Rabbana. But there's one place where there's a syog is at the Reisa. A mefurish limud, a syog was at the Reisa. At the Reisa dik syog. Where do we find it at the Reisa dik syog? Mesil Shishon brings it down in the Kiyus Perek Yud Aleph. It's a Shmois Rabbah. It's a Medrash. The Reisa dik syog. It goes on the lamp from Loisikru Legalis Erva. Loisikru Legalis Erva. So Chazal say, Omar Kodesh Baruch Hu, don't say, you're not allowed, the Iker Yisur, but who says that there's an Avera for Neshika or for Negia? Who says there's an Avera to touch the Erva? The Iker is, it says, Loisikru Legalis Erva. Omar Kodesh Baruch Hu. So sagt der Beis Shalom nein, azay wie a Nazir gemacht a neder shlo lishlish yayin. He's a neder, shouldn't drink wine. He's not allowed to read a novim lachem yaveshin umishchas a novim b'chol hayoytze mi'gefen hayayin. Af isha sheina shaloch ose ligavo kel iker. Sagt der Messias Chaim, it's nifladik the maimer. The Iker Iser by a Nazir is Shtias Yayin. But the Torah Aser, it's at the Reisa dik Iser, Kol Mash Yesh La Shayoches Im HaYayin. Anything that has a connection to wine is so the Torah made us young. Limud Shalim Do Torah L'Chachomim Eich Yasu Heim Siyog L'Torah B'Mishmeret Shenimtza B'Yodim Laz Mishmerto. It's Torah gave a limud to Chazal and gave a din. You listen, Chazal make a mishmeres, makes yogim here, and I'll make you one yog, and I'll teach you how to make yogim. Yilmadu min hanozir lesser bavur ha'ikr gam kol delamilai. It nimtza she'osa atayah b'mitzvah zoy shel nozir masher mosa l'chachomim sheyasu b'shar kol ha'mitzvahs. So here's a mashal. Here's a deraisa dike. First place is you saw it, that there's one place that there was that the Reisa dik syog. There's other cases that there's the Reisa dik syog. I was once saying a shir someplace, so I said, it was in the other inyanim. So I said that it's I said that this is the Reisa dik syog. So we find the Reisa dik syog. So I said I was a certain inyan that I said this is the Reisa dik syog. So afterwards, Rosh Yeshiva was there and told me, no such thing. You don't find anywhere that there's a deraisa dik syog. All syog is over the Abora. So I told him, you're wrong. I showed him the Sil Shishor. I told him, you're wrong. I said, before Shechazal, and Mr. Shishor takes no simcha as big as that simcha. No simcha. He describes to you all the yonim. Then afterwards, and that's halacha starting Yud Beis, Yud Gimel, Yud Dalet. Then, in halacha, gives a whole arichas. There's the inyan from Simcha b'chol ha-mitzvahs. From the Pashtas and Lashon of the Rambam, number one, he seems clearly that he says that the inyan from Simcha is Leishevas at the Reisa, even though the Gemara says, he himself brings down, it's not Doicha Shabbos, but it's not a Drabonon. He doesn't hold it in a Smach to the Rambam. The Rambam brings a Posek, Pashtas Ha'ikir Din. It's not an avoided to be Doicha Shabbos. The Rambam sounds from the Rambam Pashtas at the Reisa. he brings a posuk, and then when he tells you the Iker Limud Musar for Simcha, the Iker Simcha, wie man darf sich Mesameach sein, the Iker Limud is from Chag HaSukkos, and Simchas Beis HaShe'eva. When the Torah emphasized the inyan from Zman Simchaseinu. Zman Simchaseinu is on Sukkos. And Simchas Beis HaShe'eva, a posik, B'samat L'nei Shem L'kei Shivas Yomim. In this mitzvah, the Zman Simchaseinu is the Iker Kpeda was on Simcha. But it's a limud from Dorten of everything, Kol HaTorah Kula, every mitzvah that a person does. A ganze Leben von einem Mensch, with sein the Simcha, and I know from how you do the Simcha. The Simcha has to be, and Simcha is Avodah Gdoila. The Simcha is Avodah Gdoila. It's a limud from this parsha, because we could continue and say some other things. Let me just say, since I learned some of these recitals from Avraham, and he says that the Torah in some places emphasizes in the mitzvah, but over there it's a makeh, but it's a limud to call it Torah kula. So let me tell you over one more thing that he says. He says by the Seder Shel Pesach. Seder Shel Pesach is ma'akev shaylo tshuva. Yishalcha bincha. So it's ma'akev shaylo tshuva. You're not yoitza Sibitzias Mitzrayim, only the shaylo tshuva. Yishalcha bincha shaylo tshuva. So he says, be'emes kol HaTorah kula, the oif of Chacham is only with shaylo tshuva. Shaylo is Chacham chotzi tshuva. The oif of Chacham kol HaTorah kula is shaylo tshuva. Taisus are sure like that. Every Taisus Shas, v'im toimar v'yeshloimar, v'im toimar v'yeshloimar. You have to, before you say yeshloimar, that from Frank is v'im toimar. You have to ask the shayla schacham, chachi tshuva. So the derech from Chachma, from Kol HaTorah Kula, is shayla tshuva. But in one mitzvah, the Torah made this a ma'akev. In the Sipri Yetzias Mitzrayim, the Torah took this prat, and the Torah made a ma'akev. That's the shayla tshuva. It's a limud from Chachma, Kol HaTorah Kula. The Chachma from Kol HaTorah Kula. The ganze Torah, the oifer from Levin HaChachma, is a shayla tshuva. Now that's the Messiah that we're holding by Sukkos, the mitzvah Simcha, Baruch Hashem, and we're Zoicha, Eden b'chol mokem she'ein, Eden in Detroit, as Zoicha. So Baruch Hashem, like I began, it's a gewaldige Simcha, talking to somebody that's been in Detroit probably longer than anyone else in this room. I would imagine. I was in Detroit longer than anybody, and I know what Detroit used to look like, and what Detroit, Baruch Hashem, looks like today. Baruch Hashem is a gewaldige Simcha. Eventually should be send his bracha to everyone here. They should all be zoiche to a gemar chsima toiva, a good gesundte gebenste Jahr, a year from arichas yomim, a year from parnasa, a year from good health, nachas and bracha, lanu l'chol Yisrael. Amen.